Levers and doors are really bad. So let's say you open the door, you can walk on through, bam, there's no lever. Or you get to your door, bam, there's no lever. So you're stuck outside forever. I could say a couple more points, but they kind of all just bam. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave that out. So hello everyone, my name's Tomco, and today I'm showing you how to attach buttons to any redstone door that has a input. So buttons are way better basically. You can open the door on this side, walking through, close it on this side. You can do the same thing, open it up, walk on through, close it. Infinitely better than this. Oh god, you got a bit violent there. So before I show you how you link it up, I'm going to teach you how it works. So this is my door here. Very simple. The redstone is literally this. I then got two buttons on either side connected to whatever the heck is going on in here. So this is a T flip-flop. And yes, there are many ways to do this, but I've found that the easiest way and the most reliable way is the way I've done it here. So when you press this button, signal travels, piston fires into this observer, which then makes this redstone torch turn off and then back on really fast. And in the time that it does this, the item that was in this hopper then moves into this hopper. So we can watch it happen. Bam, flash, the item moves from this one into this one, and basically it alternates which hopper it's in every time you press a button. What's really cool about a T flip-flop is that you could have many different inputs into the same sticky piston. So this is all that's going on here, you know? You have a button into this one, you can open it up or close it. The button, open. You can connect it to this one, button, close. What's really cool, you can also have 3 buttons. Look at this. So basically, any redstone that goes into that sticky piston over there and triggers that T flip-flop will open and close the door. And that is literally how you do it. So let's have a practice run. So this over here is my 3x3 spiral door, and what I've done in my tutorials and what most tutorials do is to label which block or which piece of redstone dust or whatever is going to be your input block. So for example, mine's just the one which my lever's over here, so when you flick this, it closes, and when you flick it again, it opens, but whatever block you activate does this, that's your input block. And before you do anything else link up to buttons, the very first thing you want to do is link this block, let's link that block right there into a repeater. So for something like this, and then you need to check that it worked with a repeater. And then of course, once you got this tested out, you can just leave that there for now. So now you need to find out where you want your buttons are going to go. For me, I don't really care, so I'm going to have one button on this side of the door right here, and the exact same thing on the other side of the door, just about here. Obviously, if you're really into compactness and want this thing to be as small as possible, you could probably have them next to the door, but because this is going to be a tutorial, I just want to make it as simple as possible for you. I'm just going to give myself loads of room to do this, and hopefully explain it the best I can so you know you can do it yourselves. So the next thing you want to do is link up these buttons into a sticky piston going downwards. So if I just make the same thing on both sides and then link them up into the same block over here, both of these redstone dusts are going to be linking into the same sticky piston. And this is going to be that sticky piston over there, which is then going to toggle those hoppers and the items opening / closing the door. So if I were to go ahead and put a sticky piston under this redstone line, that button does it, and so does this one. There we go. Then I want to go ahead and make your actual T flip-flop. To do that, you can make the exact same T flip-flop in many ways, but basically all you have to do is link up this observer so it gets pushed down into a block with some redstone torches on it. Then this redstone torch then has to go into 2 hoppers. And obviously there's going to be more compact ways to do this, but just for today, to make this thing way easier and simpler, I'm literally just going to link it up into redstone dust, which is then going to be placed on top of both of these hoppers, like so. And bear in mind, these hoppers do have to be going into each other like this. If they're not like this, it won't work. And the way you do that, by the way, is by placing a block first, a hopper going into that block, you crouch and then place a hopper going into that hopper. So, like that. You then take a comparator output coming off of this hopper. Right now, it will be empty, that's absolutely fine. You just have to put a single item into that. It can be any item, just any item into that and it'll work. But you have to make sure there's only one item between these 2 hoppers. So only one item in both of them. You then want a repeater coming off of this comparator, then simply link a redstone line going from this repeater into the repeater we used earlier, which is going into the door. And so that should be everything. So we can press a button and our door opens it, we can walk in through or close it behind us like so, then bam, that is now all the buttons working. Which is very cool, so that's all that's left for you to do is to decorate this thing however which way you want, as of course, each of these buttons, they're going to be different per person that makes it. Main key steps again are just linking these buttons into the same sticky piston, then linking an observer into a redstone torch, which makes redstone top of hoppers flash, then linking the comparator into the input block of the door you want. And of course, yes, if you found comfortable, you can make this thing as small as compact, or as simple and as big as possible like this. But at the end of the day, you can make this thing as challenging or as easy as you really want it to be. But now you'll never have to use those levers again. Let's get them out of my inventory. But anyways, that is the tutorial done. Any questions, do let me know and I'll try my best to answer them. But that's all from me and I'll see you all later. Had fun with your new buttons. Bye!